Hello and welcome to Nowhere. My name is Trish and I am the creator behind Nowhere Novelties. One of the more popular designs on my channel was the Power Wash tie-dye cup. And tie-dye method takes a lot of effort, but you can actually create it in so many different ways. It doesn't have to be a traditional rainbow or pastel, kind of, 70s vibe color scheme. Today, I'm going to be creating this more neutral toned tie-dye with foil here in the white and a cool cheetah print decal. If this one speaks to the animal inside you or your rebel soul, then this one's for you. If you're ready, let's strap in and shoot for the stars. I am starting out with a 20-ounce skinny straight tumbler from Maker Flow Crafts, base painted white. And very similar to my last tie-dye cup, I am creating the initial spiral with just a highlighter. It ends up coming off pretty easily and getting covered with the paint. Speaking of paint, I decided to go in with this black chalk paint from Pop of Color. I chose chalk paint because I really wanted it to dry quickly. The last tie-dye tumbler I did took absolutely forever for each layer to dry. So I was very quickly able to go back in with a second layer of paint to really nail down the depth of the black spiral. The key to the spiral, which I still have not perfected, is a variation in like the spikes of the spiral. You kind of want pieces that are like much longer and then pieces that are a little more narrow so that it really looks like organic and not just like one thick line all the way around. Once 2 coats of black was on, I decided to go in with dark brown. And when I say I decided to go in, I mean because I had a vision for this cup, and I'm not really sure this is what I initially thought. The color scheme kind of took on like a life of its own. I knew that I wanted black and the foil, and once I get to the foil part, you'll realize kind of where I was going with this, that it had leopard print on it, and I wanted the foil leopard print to really be like the kind of the focal point. So in hindsight, I'm actually glad that I did go in with the other 2 colors because the foil didn't really actually transfer well and you don't see the pattern of the cheetah print at all. I know I'm cutting out a lot of like the painting process because it does take a very long time, but I wanted to show you guys how I kind of finalized the bottom of the cup. So the very bottom has like a starburst of black, and I'm going around the outer edge with the brown, and that is because on kind of this transition where the spiral stops on the side of the cup, I decided to bring up some of that brown into a point to fill in those larger white kind of triangles, and I think it kind of fed down into the bottom of the cup really well with the brown on the outer edge. I think I've mentioned before on my channel that my sister is also a crafter and designer, and I go to her a lot when I'm kind of stuck in terms of like design aspects, even on my cups, even though she does not do epoxy tumblers. So I went to her and I was just like, please help me with this color scheme, because really all I knew I wanted was the black spiral with the foil. And she asked me if I was going to put like a decal on it or anything like that, and I kind of looked through my Clearcast decal inventory and saw the decal that I ultimately ended up putting on the cup, and I was like, I mean, this would kind of look cool with it because it has the cheetah print in it. And she was the one that suggested to go in with this kind of tan color to break up the 2 darker colors. Again, I wasn't initially going to do like a lighter color because I really wanted that foil to be like the main focal point. But once I saw the brown against the black dried, you can see, towards the top of the cup here, that it's a lot of dark. Once I started putting the tan portion in between the black and the brown, I thought it really gave off like that neutral, like almost animal print-esque vibe to it. I did decide to apply the foil before any epoxy. So I went in with Tack It and the same angle brush that I used to apply my paint colors. And I'm doing the same kind of brush strokes within the white portions, like the negative space on the cup. I am dragging the Tack It into the painted sections just barely to cause like some overlap, but I'm not like being too aggressive, I would say, in covering up the painted portion, because there's still a lot of white on this tumbler, so I didn't want it to like overpower with all of the foil. Once the Tack It is dry, I do dry mine, kind of speed up the process with a heat gun. Here is the foil. Yes, I've used a teeny tiny portion of it on a different tutorial, but I basically laid it right in the cup right in the center, at the seam of the cup, and then pulled the foil around the cup to make sure that I didn't have any, like where the two pieces of foil met, I didn't want to be able to see that in any of the white portions of the cup. So I don't know if you saw it before, I closed the foil up into its little burrito. But I actually had that seam kind of meet right along a painted line. So to get the foil to transfer over, I take a squeegee and give it a nice rub, burnish down onto the Tack It. And when that was ready, I peeled it right off to reveal the brush strokes of silver. Again, my goal was to actually see the texture of the leopard print come through in that spiral, but it did not happen. I don't know if it's because the Tack It itself was in that brush stroke kind of pattern and it wasn't fully saturated. Regardless, I actually loved the way this looked, and it actually came out even better under epoxy. So after a coat of epoxy, I'm ready to apply this decal. It is from Elena's Gift Shop, and it is a clear cast decal, meaning that it is completely transparent. It does not have a white backing. So in order to get it to show up on this cup with a lot of dark colors, I actually created an offset of the image. So it's just basically the shape of the clear cast decal, and cut that out on my Cricut in white vinyl so that I could create the white backing. I transferred the clear cast decal onto the white backing, trimmed off the clear kind of outer edges to get the shape of the sticker, and applied it to like the kind of the center seam where the spiral connects. I thought that was a good place for it so that you get the full spiral on the back. She's beautiful. She has 2 final coats of epoxy, of course. I hope you guys loved this one. I hope to see you real soon. Bye-bye now.